Greetings and welcome everyone to our Melted Reality, a place where I discuss the possibility of a major heated cataclysm realm-wide. The main questions usually are: where are we? Where are we from? What are we walking on? Did this cataclysm come from below or from above? In most cases, it still seems like it did come mostly from the bottom up. It does seem like we're living in a time, especially after 2020, more people are awake and everything is a scam. School system, politics, pretty much anything. Free thinking is the key to really understanding anything. So what we're going to try to do here is just go through some stuff and compare as usual. Will we ever know what happened, how it happened? Most likely not. But it's fun to just make fun of what we're taught and the things they push in our heads. Seems like there's some kind of electrical current event. Everything was circuit board like and it fried. Don't know how or who or when, but it does seem recent. Maybe 300 years ago or so. But there's so many examples of from different people and all combining together their thoughts, pictures, videos, and trying to get closer to some kind of conclusion of what happened. But no matter what, if you're looking on Google Earth, pictures from airplanes or whatever, it seems like this whole place was a motherboard. Who's controlling it? Who destroyed it? What destroyed it? That's a whole nother conversation. I appreciate everybody being here, and thank you. I'm going to start with a post from Deborah Simpson. It's kind of a definition of meltology, brickology. I think it's possibly AI generated, asking questions to AI and came up with this. Meltology, brickology is a forensic study of ancient architectural structures, particularly red brick and stone formations that appear to have undergone extreme transformation due to cataclysmic events such as an intense heat, energetic discharge, or plasma phenomena. It points that many so-called natural geological features, such as cliffs, caves, mountains, and fossil-like formations, are in fact the remains of advanced architectural infrastructure, often built from modular red brick or similar engineered material. These structures appear to have melted, fused, or been recrystallized due to some massive worldwide event. Often theorized as an EMP-like energetic overload of Earth's electrical system, what researchers refer to as the motherboard Earth. Brickology, meltology focuses on the thermal deformation of these red brick structures, warping, sagging, bubbling, vitrification, glass-like surfaces, bricks that appear to have turned to stone or fossilized, heat-shattered vaults, arches, spires, and facades embedded in cliff faces. This field combines visual forensic analysis, especially photographic, energetic, and material speculation, example, dielectric brick theory, architectural intelligence, how energy design was encoded in form, catastrophic and metaphysical history, example, resets, grid failure, Human Renaissance. It challenges conventional geology and archaeology by asserting that much of the Earth's natural surface is the melted and fossilized ruin of a high-technology architectural civilization. So I thought that was a pretty good example of a definition of kind of what we're looking at. Have the remains of all these structures, but it's just a little tiny bit of what once was. It's really incredible to look at. It's more incredible to think about. What did these structures actually look like? Just immense. What kind of heat, energy? Where did it come from? Why? These little pockets of survival everywhere, these buildings, and they just plug narratives on them from hundreds or thousands of years ago, building on tops of thousands of feet up by donkey and carts and chisels and all the crap they feed us in schools and on Google or wherever you look up historical narratives. All right, somewhat switching gears a little bit. A few weeks ago, I watched a video from John Levi, and he brought up this map. And it really interested me too because it was a place where I visited a couple of years back. So this map says 1761. Now, obviously, all the narratives are pretty much BS. So when you find another earlier, say this map of a date, so this star fort that I've been to here, 1761, he's pointing at here, and it's actually on this peninsula. So when you Google that, Fort Pensacola, it comes up Fort Pickens, which that's what it is now. So after seeing John's video, I'm going to bring this back up. That fort is said to have been built in 1834. So you have a map from 1700s that displays this 21.5 million brick star fort. Now, which one is it? They've changed history so much they can't even keep up, really. Here's where I was just trying to divide the 600 bricks per pallet and got all those threes, and 5/8 is my birthday. That was kind of weird, but just impossible builds. And they had the fort on the map right above this peninsula, but it's actually right here. They have two dates of 1761, 1834. I want to go back and check that structure out. The place is immense. It's half the peninsula is this star fort with other structures all over it. Just didn't have time that day to go, but when I go back, I'm definitely going to check it out. But just all these bricks is just incredible. Done by slaves, they say, of course. And the fact is that many people just don't have time to or want to research anything as far as these narratives. They just go to these sites and look around and, oh, it's from the Civil War. Half the time, they don't even know that they say that slaves built it in the early 1800s. Just impossible from the narratives they give us. Of course, it's before power tools and all that jazz, and they have donkeys, and they just create this. But really, the fact of the matter is, you don't have to believe that there was a heated cataclysm, even though there's a ton of evidence all around you. But you can't believe the stupidity of the narratives that you look up on any historical site, any of them. They change things so much to begin with. And second, the narrative they give us, where we're pretty much all cavemen up until the Industrial Revolution, it should insult everybody's intelligence. Here's a few shots from Russia circuit board-like structures. What did all this used to look like? Look at the frying effect, melting effect all around it. Out in the middle of the water, out in the middle of nowhere, of course. It's just what they did back then. They have to protect nothing. You can just follow all the way around. You can see little pockets of melting. Stuff kind of leaning over. Almost completely wiped out and gone. This kind of stuff is all under the ocean. Most of the stuff has been scrubbed. Noticeable stuff on Google Earth if you're looking out in the ocean. But here, what would cause this? And what do they tell the locals? This was all chiseled out, these little tiny windows. For what? Your pet rat? And you can see the terracing is just going down, melting. Down here, barely left over little holes. You know, they were at some bigger windows or whatever they were before here, and they just slowly disappear. And this is probably what they say is all natural, all this stuff here. So you can see that it was some kind of structure. Red brick looks like still left over down here. Devastation and rubble all under it, melting from under itself. This is now geology. Well, I mean, that's what they call it, geology. It's fakeology. I think you could even believe it more if they said this was like an anthill, and 1,000 years ago there were huge ants and they just burrowed all this. That would be more believable to me. Just structure that's just totally in ruins. All this in the background. Look at that. This is everywhere. Pyramid-like straight lines up and down. All I have to do is kind of just look at this. I can make excuses of some kind of earthquake or something bowing this up. But who would construct like this? Look at this. It's a mess. Nothing's level. To me, all this just bowed up in this intense cataclysm, whenever that was. A fried motherboard. That's all it looks like. Now we're going to go into a share from Maria. It's in the Czech Republic. I think the narrative says something about possibly this part here was built 200 years or so ago, you know, whatever on that. But I like this example because you can see the sloping of the so-called rock, all of it, this whole hill. And I don't think this was built 200 whatever years ago. I think this is just left over, and then they plug a narrative as far as, so they built a bridge right there, much needed. You know, you can go from here to here. You can look out. You know, it'll just take us ever long to do that. Okay. This slope here, this is just a wall. This over here changed a little bit more. And then you have this left that didn't turn completely into blocked up geology, fakeology. You got to really be bored back in the day to say this wasn't here. And this is leaning like almost 45 degrees everywhere. You're like, hey man, you want to help me build this bridge from here to here? Why? Just bored. I got like a lot of donkeys and stuff, and we can gather slate and rocks and make a hell of a bridge just to walk over here. It slipped in my folder somehow, but look, why in the hell would you do this? And forget about this down here. Look at this. What's up here? Where's the water fountain? I mean, Can donkeys get up there? You have to get some goats or something, probably, right? Rams, I don't know. Something that can climb on fake geology. All right, this one is somewhere in Australia. This is one of my favorites. I have one more shot of it. Look at this. This crazy, obvious structure. This is like this column here, the siding. It's just so obvious. I mean, how do you even walk up to this thing and be like, man, millions of years ago, that was incredible. You know, the funny thing, they put in most of geology as far as how the rocks and stuff were made. They say heat and pressure. That's one of the main definitions in fakeology. Heat and pressure. They got that one right. Here's somewhat of a different angle of that same place. I could stare at it forever. Look at this. I've seen so many things like this around me. This right here. I mean, most of it. I haven't seen anything quite like this because it's obvious man-made mixed in with supposed nature. All of it bending over, ruined, all this pancaking. Crazy that this even survived on the outside like that. You can even see some sort of designs fried off. Who knows what it was? Probably pretty spectacular, whatever it was. I like this example Deborah Simpson shared recently. Nature, structure. Pretty similar. There's so many great comparisons I've seen of different pictures that people have put together. This is just one. It should really make you think. Here's a couple of pictures of lightning strikes. This is what intense heat does. It changes the state of matter into whatever it comes in contact with, as far as lightning. Here's another one. Look what the concrete or asphalt, whatever this is, look what it changed into. This is in Turkey. You really have to be bored back whenever to do this. What would this ever be for? And how are you going to get there? This is straight up. This is very dangerous here. But all jokes aside, you can kind of see the transformation. It just blocked up. You have rocky blocks here, but then you have perfect blocks here. Like, what were they trying to build a wall here? I'm being facetious, but this is just a pocket of survival. I mean, nobody came in here and blocked up the mountain up here and chiseled all this out. Yeah, let's do this over here too, right on top of this. You can even see the same coloring here. It's right over here. You can see it in different places. You might ask, hey, I mean, why would it just separate like this and leave this? I have no clue. Electric energy, it stops. Another card in the hand of the old controllers is, the separation is crazy. And so most won't think that, okay, this was the same as this at one time. They just had a lot of donkeys and had a lot of time. Probably got injured a lot by doing this stupid build, right? But they put it on a plaque and put a gift shop somewhere around it, and everything's all good. Everybody will believe it. I mean, I have to work 40, 50 hours a week, and then they'll just want to go watch sports or something, and they won't worry about what all of this actually is, which was the same thing as this and that and that. Turkey, something else, I tell you. If I was in this spot, I'd probably put a little tent right here. I wouldn't leave for about a month if I could, if they let me stay. Yes, there's so much to look at here. Melting. You can't even use another word. Thanks for everybody stopping by. Peace within, guys. Cheers. She was here earlier, but it's she's sleeping right now probably, so.
She's on the underside of the ball, right?
Right, she's upside down right now. I mean, we're walking kind of sideways right now where we're at, right?
I'm almost upright up here in northern Canada.
Yeah, you're the most level one, right?